Alright, this video is going to be a little bit different than what you've seen from me in the past, but unless you've been in a cave or living under a rock, you probably have heard of the flock cameras. It seems to be all the buzz. People hate them. Doesn't matter where you sit on the political spectrum, nobody seems to like them. They're disappearing all over the place because, well, they're actually appearing, but people are cutting them down and vandalizing them, which is not something that I propose or recommend that you do. But what this video is going to be about is what are some of the methods that people are using really to defeat the flock cameras, or basically fuck the flock, if you will. Anyway, let me go ahead and get started. Before we do that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and let's get going. So again, me referencing living under a rock, I didn't really mean that, but if you don't know about these, perhaps you have been. Anyway, there's three different types of flock cameras. I have a cheat sheet here and I'll read them to you. One of them is the Falcon, and that's a license plate reader. You probably have seen some of these. If you haven't, I'd be really surprised because they're coming up all over the place at the most interesting places. The other one is going to be the Condor, and here's what a Condor looks like. These pan and tilt, and technically are not supposed to follow people, but there's a few incidences where that may be questionable, and I'll go into that in a minute. Then there's the Alpha drone. Yeah, this thing looks like, actually it looks kind of scary. It looks like something out of a post-apocalyptic movie, very dystopian if you ask me. But anyway, that's the world we're living in. Again, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on these. It's mostly the license plate reader camera. Now, the license plate reader camera not only reads license plates, it detects the color of the car, scratches, bumper stickers, things that may distinguish it. So even if you're successful in covering up a license plate or keeping it from reading it, it could still make a record of your vehicle. Not the greatest thing in the world. How are people trying to defeat the Falcon? There's one urban legend says to use this Rust-Oleum reflective paint. Everything I've read about this in tests that they've done, it's not effective. It doesn't do anything. And if you cover your license plate with this, you're probably violating the law. I think in most states it's illegal to do something to your license plate. So this is one. We're going to play around a little bit with this and put some on a old license plate that I have here. And actually, let's go ahead and do that now. Give it a chance to dry, and then I'll talk about some of the other methods. Yeah, by the way, this plate it's really old. It's no good anymore. It came off of a trailer a long time ago from a boat I bought. And it's been laying around the garage. But basically, we're going to spray this. And this is one of the things they say is that you can't tell it's been sprayed. But it looks flat. We'll let it dry. We'll go back to it. Well, before we do that, let me go talk about a few of the other methods that people are using. So here's another method. This one is old as the hills, right? And what this is, it's a license plate cover. It's reflective, and these really came out at first for the license plate readers that they use for tolls. And do they work? Well, I don't know. In this particular video, you can see the reflection. It may actually work, but from everything I've read, the camera's technology that they use now, even for tolls as well as for the FLPRs or the Falcon license plate readers, can go through there, and even a brief second of the license plate is going to work. Should you put these on? I wouldn't, because quite frankly, I think almost in every state, if not all the states in this country, it's probably illegal to cover your license plate. Do people do it? All the time. I see these everywhere. Whether cops stop them or not, I really don't know, but we'll see. Now, as far as the spray, the reflective spray, well, here's the results of the one we sprayed, and I even have a flashlight to see if we can somehow or another make it illegible, maybe from a sideways perspective. No, it doesn't appear to work. One thing I do notice is that there's little reflective particles in it, and you might be able to catch it here, see it. Does that defeat the flock camera? I sincerely doubt it. And if you spray your plate with this, or you spray a violet license plate with this, you're probably violating the law. So yeah, let's not do that. However, what about if they spray one of these license plate readers with this? And this is another one that I've read. So let's go ahead and do that and see what that looks like. That looks like shit. I'm drying this. We're going to put it over the plate. That will not work because that's a guaranteed way to get stopped by the police. If you've got a cloudy cover, will it work? Probably. Are you violating the law? Twice, I think. Yeah, I don't think this is a really good idea. You really can't see anything through there. Maybe a reflective film. I've got see-through reflective film, and I bought it for different purposes, but I'm not even going to show you that because it's kind of pointless, I think. Now we're going into the technology. This is a directional antenna. This one is tuned to 1.9 megahertz. Actually, let me double check that. Actually, 1.9 gigahertz. So that's actually band 2 in the LTE 4G spectrum. I actually have bought this years ago. We live pretty rural. There was no high-speed internet. There was a service that you could buy. You needed a directional antenna, so I used this to bring in enough internet to actually do some work at home, which is where I work from. So why am I showing you the directional antenna? Because if you were to generate a frequency and put it through here and aim it at one of those ALPRs, you wouldn't kill it unless you were hitting it with super high amplitude, but you would knock its communications out. People are doing this actually. This is a professional antenna. People are doing this with Pringle cans. You can literally make a directional antenna with a Pringle can. I'm not going to cover the details of that. That's 2 or 3 videos worth of antenna theory, and if you want, put something in the comments. Maybe in the future we'll build some directional antennas. What I have read and seen is that some people are using klystron tubes from a microwave, and that will destroy anything you point it at. I don't recommend that neither. That's vandalism, that's destruction of property, and quite illegal, probably felonious. So that's one method. Now I'm going to show you one last method. This one tickled me because I thought it was kind of funny, and it was based off a video I saw that a state trooper did, and he explained exactly what the person he stopped did and why he stopped them and what he found. And I'm going to recreate that with this cloudy sprayed on license plate, and you'll get a kick out of it. So stay tuned. Give me a minute and I'll come right back. Alright, so what I'm about to show you is as much a science experiment as anything else. It's pretty interesting. Again, this is based off a video a law enforcement officer did, and explained how and why he found it. But anyway, let me go ahead and get started. It should only take a few minutes to actually create this. Alright, so we've got a license plate, we've got a nail. I got a little washer on the nail too. And there's a reason for that, because I'm going to you're probably wondering what in the world is he doing. Well, you'll see in a minute. Now I've got some really super thin wire here. This is 26 gauge. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to create an electromagnet. I'm not in any way suggesting that you should do this, but you want to use, if you want to create an electromagnet, this is more on theory than anything. You want to use very, very thin wire, because the thinner it is and the longer it is, the more resistance there's going to be. If you use thick wire, short lengths, what's going to happen is you're going to have a high drain on the battery. It's going to heat the wire up and potentially drain the battery. Now the fun part with this wire, it's varnished, so I really should be getting a piece of sandpaper to strip it, but we'll see if we can make this work. You might have contact. See if we can get it to hold together. Alright, so we've created an electromagnet, and there's current flowing through there. When you release the current, it releases. Now, what the state trooper noticed was that there was a leaf on somebody's vehicle covering the license plate, and when he turned on his lights, see if we can get this to work. So basically, this is what the state trooper noticed. Oh, how handy. Oh, let me light him up. Oh, wait. Whoa, that's interesting. The leaf just fell off. And, of course, there was a leaf with a washer or some piece of metal stuck on it. And it was perpetually attached as long as the car was running. And 12 volts were going to it. And when the driver, I guess that was a normally closed switch, hit the normally closed switch to open it, then the leaf falls off. So don't do this. This is so illegal. It's totally ridiculous. I thought I'd show it because this is a DIY channel, and this is a really, really hastily rigged electromagnet. If you are interested in me doing some STEM stuff, science, technology, electronics, whatever you want to call it, I wouldn't mind doing that. So this would probably be a variation of that, creating electromagnets and having fun with them. All right. A few more horror stories about the flock cameras. One of them is from a gentleman named Ben Jordan. He has a YouTube channel. I'll put links to it in the description. He's been able to hack into these things. Some of them are wide open, and he hasn't done anything illegal other than to access them. And you know, I guess under the whatever laws that the FCC applies, he can do that as long as he doesn't damage them, and access videos of people that the pan and tilt cameras have been following people. And one interesting thing about the pan and tilt cameras is Flock Safety says we don't follow people with them, but it's in their training videos that they do follow people. They also make a claim that 10,000 missing people are found on a yearly basis because of Flock cameras. If they don't follow people, how can they find missing people? Good question, right? Rhetorical, but another horror story is Jake the lawyer. He researched the legality of these flock cameras, and the legality is not so much a single FLPR or flock license plate reader, because it's been determined in the higher courts that it is okay for cops and single plate readers to work. It's when it's all aggregated together and creates a story about where you are, where you've been, where you're going. That's a legality problem. Anyway, Jake did some research, published some videos, and lo and behold, woke up one morning to find a flock video camera pointed right at his house. So, you know, if that's not a little intimidating by the company, then yeah, I don't know what is. In any event, the last one is Noir. He has a video, and this is Second Amendment related, but he's got a video, and I'll put links to all these videos in the description below, about how flock cameras are appearing at gun ranges. So now there's a record of anybody that goes to a gun range. In one case, there was a video of a gentleman showing a flock camera going into the gun range and leaving the gun range. So if they happen to miss you going in, they'll catch you going out. So yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of things that are potentially wrong with the flock cameras. That has to be sorted out legally. Again, one of the things I want to really point out, I'm not suggesting you do anything that I'm going to show you. These are just methods people are using. Whether they work or not is questionable. And I'm not recommending that you use any of these methods or do any damage to any flock cameras. Yeah, let's talk about that at the end of the video. All right, so before I say anything, I'm going to say this. Don't do any of these methods. Don't try to use them. They're probably illegal. They'll probably get you in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble, so if you do use them, I didn't tell you to, okay? I tell you not to. None of this stuff works. It's been proven not to work. This is the spray on that license plate cover. Garbage. I mean, you can barely see through it. It's kind of foggy. This stuff does nothing at all to match the license plate. Yeah, as far as antennas and interference, the FCC would probably frown very heavily on that. As a matter of fact, you'd be violating federal laws do any of that stuff. So don't do any of that stuff. If you really have a problem with the flock cameras, the best place to complain to is, of course, everybody that is in a government position, from the local town through the county all the way on up to federal senators and representatives. The most effective ones are the towns. Towns are actually pulling down flock cameras or canceling their contracts because of feedback from residents in the area. So I would start, at the very least, start there if you have a problem with them. You know, it's not going to hurt to contact your local representative, town councilors, whoever is the local government. Anyway, I hope this video has been enjoyable and helpful to you. If it has, hit share and like, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.